The Rangers beat the Islanders 4-1 at the Rangers' first game at the new arena in Belmont, UBS. And this was a game in which the Rangers, I don't want to say couldn't lose, because, first things first, we saw last year firsthand how the Islanders definitely got the better of the Rangers. But the Islanders are really decimated by COVID and some injuries as well. But, injuries are going to happen, but certainly they are being hit hard by COVID. So this is a game where, with the Rangers, you really shouldn't lose, and they didn't. And that's great. And, I felt like this was a pretty evenly played game. It really was. I think the score might be a little bit misleading, but still, I thought the Rangers played a pretty good game, a smart game. Smart in the sense of, I guess, not from a penalty perspective, way too many penalties, but I just think in the approach and the system and the style, I think that they did what they had to do. They played a patient game, and against the Islanders, they're going to feast on mistakes. And I think that this game really could have gone either way, but the biggest key in this one was the fourth line. And I think it's very ironic that, everyone talks about, and deservedly so, the Cizikas line with Martin and Clutterbuck on the Islanders, is considered, quote unquote, one of the more effective fourth lines. They probably get more minutes than a typical fourth line. Maybe they might even sometimes get like the third most minutes on their own team, but here nor there, they, that's kind of been, like, I guess, the gold standard, certainly within the division. So really great to see the fourth line for the Rangers be really the key reason why they won this game. It's Barclay Goodrow centering Kevin Rooney and Ryan Reaves. Now, Kevin Rooney was on the Rangers last year. The Rangers felt highly enough to protect him in the expansion draft, and he was effective last year and has been pretty good this year. He's a top penalty killer. They, of course, bring in Barclay Goodrow, coming off 2 Stanley Cups with Tampa, and then Ryan Reaves, who, had a lot of success with Vegas before, really early in his career, doing well with the St. Louis Blues. He's played 700 games. So, like, the Rangers made a concerted effort to improve this fourth line. And so you got to have depth in the NHL. You need to. And I think in recent years, the Rangers, it's been a lot of dead weight down there, and you don't feel that way anymore. And I think that in this one, like, they were the ultimate key. Because on the one hand, you can say, well, the Rangers have more talent than the Islanders. In this version of the Islanders, at the very least. And that would be true. And I think that when you look at, I think that helped to an extent, but really it was the role players that really came through. And the penalty kill was excellent for the Rangers. Really, really good. And Shesterkin, when tested, was reliable. And so the Rangers just keep on winning. And again, I don't think you can understate, like, this was an important game for both teams. The Islanders were coming in on a 6-game losing streak. Now it's 7. And the Rangers win, like I said, a really important divisional game to improve their record to 12-4-3. It is pretty remarkable. That is on a points percentage level. That is the 6th best record in the National Hockey League. And you got to like what you see overall. The Rangers play the Islanders again Sunday at the Garden. So we'll see what that brings. But, as far as this game is concerned, a lot of penalties all the way around. And mostly, except in one instance, the penalty kill was a lot better than the power play. Of note, again, Nils Lundqvist back in the lineup for Jared Tenorti, as expected. Other than that, pretty much the same. Interestingly enough, the Rangers moved Kakko to the Zibanejad line with Kreider, and Dryden Hunt played on the Strome line with Panarin. That was an interesting little switch. And I wonder if they will stick with that, or, maybe switch it up a little bit. There was a lot of penalties, so it kind of ruined the even strength flow. So maybe they will go back to that. But Kyle Palmieri takes a slashing penalty early, and the Rangers don't capitalize. And I felt like at the time, like, big missed opportunity to get right at it. And then Barclay Goodrow takes a high sticking penalty, soon after the Rangers power play fails, and the Rangers penalty kill comes through. And then you have a couple of penalties, a Fox hook and a Barzell hook during that Islander power play. So it was a little bit of 4-on-4, but it was a pretty even first period, to be honest. Not a whole lot of scoring chances. And then in the second period, right off the hop, And it was the fourth, again, that fourth line drew the penalty where Barzell hooks Rooney 6 seconds into the second, and the Rangers score on this power play. It would be Chris Kreider, at the time his 14th goal of the season, from Ryan Strome, the former Islander, who had a really rough game. We'll talk about him. And Adam Fox gets an assist. So at 29 seconds of the second, Rangers take a 1-0 lead. So Kreider, who is really just a power play weapon, that's what he is at this point. He finds a way to score goals, especially on the power play, but it's really become beyond that too. But he is a net front presence, but he's really shown like a slickness to him with some of these deflections. They're not like so much of the in-your-face variety. He kind of just stands to the side of the goalie, and he was able to get it by Varlamov, and it gave the Rangers a 1-0 lead. From there, Ryan Strome takes a tripping penalty, which you just can't do. And Ryan Strome, it's a lot of offensive zone penalties. It's not smart. It's a bit lazy. But what's funny, though, is that Ryan Strome on that Kreider goal, like I said, Strome had an assist. It's a 7-game point streak for Strome. You wouldn't know it, but he racks up the points. He plays a very useful role on this team. Don't get me wrong. But the penalties, he needs to cut, he got better with that, but it's kind of coming back lately. Then Philip Hedl, Rangers kill that one off. And then it's a Hedl trip. Rangers kill that one off as well. Then John Gabriel Pageau high sticking. The Rangers, it felt like a big opportunity to score a power play goal. They did not. But soon after it expired, the fourth line comes through. And it's a goal for at 14:28 of the second. Kevin Rooney scores what would be his fourth goal of the season from Goodrow and Reaves. And this was a really nice play by Goodrow to find Rooney all alone in front, open net, scores. I mean, Rooney putting himself in a good position to score a goal. And then Ryan Strome, so the Rangers take a 2-0 lead, and then Ryan Strome takes a penalty, an interference penalty at 17:39, which the Rangers would kill off. So Strome with 2 penalties, not what you want there. But the Rangers have a 2-0 lead going to the third, and in kind of typical Ranger fashion, because nothing's easy, and we've literally seen this before. It's an early Islander goal at 3:52. The Hedl line with Lafreniere and Gauthier kind of gets stuck on the ice, and it's a goal by Andy Andreov at 3:52 to make it 2-1. And all of a sudden, UBS is getting loud. Islander fans are getting into it. They are. The momentum seemed like it might have shifted right there, but Gerard Gallant puts out the fourth line, and they score again. And it's another goal for Kevin Rooney. So Kevin Rooney's 5th goal of the season. That's a pretty good job for Kevin Rooney. And last year he scored some goals too. Now that's 5 for him. And it was a beautiful pass by Ryan Reaves. Showing a bit of skill there. So Reaves 2 assists. And Patrick Nemeth gets his first point as a Ranger as well. So the Rangers, that was the moment right there. They immediately get that 2-goal lead back. So 3-run Rangers. And then Kreider scores again. 11:02. Kreider's 15th goal of the season, which I believe tied him at the time for second in the NHL in goal scoring. 15 goals for Kreider, second of the game from Zibanejad. It was a nice pass by Zibanejad and Kakko. So that new line does score there. And so it makes it 4-1 Rangers, and you're feeling pretty good about things. Then from there, it got a little bit chippy as Pageau hits Lindgren, and it wasn't a dirty hit, but it was, I wouldn't say it was a clean hit either. It was a shoulder to the head area. Lindgren would end up being fine. He would leave the game. Maybe he went through some concussion protocol, but he would be back later on the bench. So it seems like he's all right. But Adam Fox would jump in there. And actually, there was no penalty on Pageau, and Fox is called for a 2-minute. But good job by Fox to defend his defensive partner and go after Pageau. And the Rangers would kill that off again. And then, with about 2 minutes left in the period in the game, Alexis Lafreniere fights John Gabriel Pageau, and give Lafreniere credit there, where Lafreniere, really hasn't done a whole lot lately. Unfortunately, he hasn't been bad, but he's been far from good, far from great. But Lafreniere sticks up for Lindgren, and fights Pageau, and you gotta love seeing that. And then later on, again, a little bit of chippiness between Dryden and Oliver Wahlstrom, but Rangers penalty kill goes 6 for 6. 6 for 6 in the penalty kill for the Rangers. And that was really big. So the Rangers win it 4-1. And really, the stars of the game, Kreider with the 2 goals, Rooney with the 2 goals, and Reaves the 2 assists. That right there, those are your 3 stars. Give the fourth line a ton of credit for really getting it done. And it was a team effort. It really was. This was a game which I thought Niels Lundqvist looked really good. I thought Niels Lundqvist, this was a solid game from him. I mean, honestly, the Nemeth Lundqvist pair was pretty sharp. And Rangers getting contributions from their depth in this one, which is very important. So now the Rangers head to Boston in what is a Thanksgiving showdown game on national television. It'll be on ABC, which will be exciting. And the Rangers, this has been like a common matchup in recent years. Rangers at the Bruins on Black Friday has been a thing. Usually, I don't think it had. I'm pretty sure each time Boston's won, and some of those games have been in pretty heartbreaking fashion. They're usually close, but Boston finds a way, and this will be a good test. This will be a very good test. I would expect Shesterkin. Bruins have been playing mostly good hockey lately, so I think this is a good measuring stick sort of game, where this is a playoff caliber team who the Rangers saw a lot of last season too. So now we'll see what happens. But I mean, with Gerard Gallant, you like what you see from him. On the bench, in these press conferences, you're really starting to see the value of this guy as a head coach. The Rangers really play hard for him. He's a no-nonsense type of head coach, but he's a positive guy as well. He delivers his message in an effective way, and it's exciting to see his value and what it's doing for the team. So again, Rangers beat the Islanders, improved to 12-4-3. Now they head to Boston before going back home to face the Islanders again. Again, big stretch of games here. So far, so good. And we will see what the Rangers are capable of doing the day after Thanksgiving in Boston.